Happy Monday, y'all. It's Lance here, back with another episode of Levels of the Week. First, I'm going to review, kind of just quickly review last week's levels. So, I put out a video last week on Monday, and I mentioned that a couple of different ranges to watch for during the week last week for SPX. Um, and I said the upside level to watch for a breakout, meaning potentially I would be looking to go long maybe or buy calls, was 3,500 to 3,510. So basically, once I saw SPX go above 3,510, I would be buying calls. And then down to the downside, I was watching 3483 to 3475 approximately. And in that case, I'll be watching for a breakdown, meaning I would potentially buy puts once SPX crossed below that range. So what happened last week was SPX barely made it over 3,500 last week. So the high of the week was around 3,502, just a bit higher than that. I think 3502.42. Yeah, 3542. 3502.42 was the high of the week last week. So what I could have done was buy puts once I saw that SPX was not going to go above that 3510 range, the high side of that range of 3510, and really ride it down. So what happened was SPX, shot up to the high, and then it just plummeted all the way down to the low, which was 34.15, 34. So that's pretty good profit potential to that end. So pretty simple. Different ways to use levels. I love knowing and watching key levels to kind of develop my strategy around those levels. And sometimes it's as simple as an entry or an exit. But then sometimes, as in the case of levels of the week last week, I pretty much formulated an entire strategy just around those levels. So anyway, just to get into what this week's levels are. So on the daily chart, I'll be watching about 34.34 to 34.26. So I'm looking at a potential bullish pattern, but I need SPX pretty much to move upward from that range. As far as levels of the week, watching 34.24 to 3,400 to the downside, and then to the upside, I'm watching 34.79 to 3,500 approximately. So meaning for me, might look for puts below that 3,400 range, or maybe even below 34.24 and ride it down to 3,400. Or to the upside, be watching for SPX to try to make a move above the upside range. Um, I don't feel super confident that it'll do so, but with elections coming, it just might. But we might see some more consolidation overall. But anyway, 34.79, 3,500, probably look for some calls maybe. Maybe even if it just gets to 34.79, I might look for some calls. Um, but if SPX can get to approximately 35.35, then we might see a nice strong run up above 3,600, maybe even 3,700 over the next maybe 6 months or so. I think depending on the election, it's possible for that 3,700 number approximately to be reached, well before 6 months. But I'll just keep it at 6 months for now. But that's it. If you guys have any questions or concerns, hit me up. And again, this is not any type of investment advice. This is strictly for educational and entertainment purposes. I hope you guys are learning something from these videos and really just learning and beginning to appreciate how important levels are when it comes to companies that you trade. So, and it really, regardless of whether you're a technical trader or a fundamental trader, it's still important to know what important levels are on the companies that you trade, especially the ones that you trade on the regular. If you do so, um, But yeah, that's all I got for you, and I'll catch you in next week's video.